Morning, guys. It is day 5, and it is cold. Holy jumpers, is it ever cold. It's cold, it's windy, it's rainy. What time is it now? 9:30. I've actually been awake on and off for the last 3 hours, refusing to get out of bed. It's so cold. But yesterday started out kind of crummy. So, hey, you never know. We'll see what happens. But I don't know the exact temperature, but it's cold. Oh. I'm going to hang out in here for a while longer. I was awake most of the night too. I don't know, I just couldn't get to sleep. Oh. It's sweater weather. Kind of glad I brought this now, to be honest. Oh, it's a cold one today. Ooh. So the sun is finally out. It's about noon of day 5. And I figured what I would do now is show you more or less a typical sort of morning routine. I'm getting a really late start again today because of the rain that we had this morning, lots of it, and it was just so cold I did not want to get out of my sleeping bag. So my morning routine today is my early afternoon routine. So one of the first things that I generally do is establish a fire. I have to heat up water for coffee and possibly breakfast or whatever, so that's usually job 1. job one. The second thing I do is I fill my wash basin. That's full of gunk that was blown around all last night. It's full of all the crud that I washed off of my hands and my dishes from the day before, including that fish. So dump out all that cruddy water. This is a 5-liter portable pail. It's the Sea to Summit kitchen sink, actually, I think is what it's called. And I have 2 1-liter jugs. This one went into the pot for coffee. So that's empty. Now these are usually full when I go to bed. So there's one. Now it's going to take me 2 trips down to the river and back to fill this up, and 1 more trip because I always like to have 2 liters of fresh water up in camp pretty much at all times. So I'm going to do that now. So we're maybe 4 o'clock into day 5. I have not done much other than firewood and water. and first aid. I have the Victorinox Champ. Which cost, it was about 150 bucks. One would think there would be some sort of a liner lock for that knife, but no, apparently not. Thankfully, the Leatherman Sidekick, which I don't even know how much this thing costs because this was given to me by a very, very close friend of mine, has a lock. Now, I don't know if these are 150 bucks, but at least their knife has a liner lock. So, I was carving away. The smoke hit my eyes and I kind of went back and the knife folded up and cut right into my finger. So I did my first aid, pulled out the Leatherman and continued with that, because for carving, definitely the superior tool. Just working on my walking stick, because the sun is out and not on and off all day long. It was raining earlier. It was murder getting a fire started. Everything was just soaking wet. It's just kind of a dismal day. And I don't feel like doing it. So, now, to the best of my recollection, that says 7-day survival challenge. And I say to the best of my recollection because I don't have internet out here, so I wasn't able to double check the script, the Viking runes. I think I got most of them right. Probably messed up on a couple. I don't know. I don't know. But that's what it's supposed to say. 7-day survival challenge. Now, I might possibly, on the other side, put in Wolf in the Wilds. Except, for the life of me, I have no idea what the Viking rune is for the letter W, which I'm not even sure if there is one. There's no Viking rune for the letter V that I can remember, so I just used a V. I'll have to do that with Wolf in the Wilds, I suppose. But I also thought about maybe carving in. So far I got 3 fish, so I'll carve in like 3 fish, and then I got a bird and a frog and a chipmunk and kind of whatever. I'm not really that good of an artist though, so I don't really know how well that's gonna go over either. So yeah, all in all, a lazy, dismal day of not much of anything. Oh, other than moving my chair from one side of the fire to the other, because trying to carve and cutting my finger because of the smoke in my eyes and all that kind of jazz, I had enough. I had enough. So I moved it to the other side, and smoke hasn't been a problem pretty much ever since. So, good move. I don't really know if I'm going to get up to much of anything today. So, yeah, this might not be a very exciting episode. I don't know. I guess we'll see. for as lazy of a day that it's been, I did do a couple of things. I carved up the staff. I stuck some feathers and just some random pieces of cord in case I find other things that I want to hang off of it. And I put some paracord down there just because it just seemed like it needed something down there. And I did, basically it's another chair, but in a pinch, it's also a thrown away from home. So I've been meaning to do that for the last 5 days. I'm definitely not a fan of pooping in the woods, and having something like this just makes it generally better. So I finally got around to doing it. I also can just use it as any old chair, so not too bad. Not too bad of a day. Nice, lazy day. Let me see. I ate a little bit of leftover fish. I still have some fish that I haven't cooked yet, but it is in cold water. I don't know. I don't even feel that hungry. I've had a couple of coffees, but I've eaten a lot like over the last couple of days in fish. And that amount of lean protein, it's kind of starting to, I don't know if I can stomach another one, to be honest. So I'm just nibbling away at, what little things I have. A little bit of sheep sorrel. I might make up some caribou moss. I don't know. There is some of it around. I've avoided it because it's food. I mean, you can eat it, you can sort of live on it, but it don't taste very good, and it kind of makes you a little bit gassy a lot of the time. And when you're sleeping in a tent, you don't want to be gassy. So, but if I get really hungry, I'm not going to fish anymore. If I get really hungry, I'll just browse a little bit. And other than that, a very uneventful day of just sitting around, doing not much of anything, relaxing. Yeah. Just moving some stuff around, sort of cleaning up my gear. Spider on my poncho. That thing's bigger than my thumbnail. What size is that thing? Kind of neat looking, but wasn't expecting something like that. Well, guys, I'm all tucked in and ready for bed. It got really cold really fast. But I got a good sleeping bag. I've got a good air mat.
I'm not feeling the cold unless I'm not in my sleeping bag. So I'm getting all the way back in. I'm going to sleep. See you guys on day 6.